Gotta unmute yourself. Come on
Every time. Come on now. Unmute yourself.
for the show. What are you doing?
He having some issues over there.
You're still muted, Cedric. You got unmuted.
Oh man. He having some problems over there. He having some problems. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties, y'all. Sorry about this. I'll go ahead and get it started. Everybody, welcome to Bells and Belts. Today is going to be about our top 10 AWA World Champions. Alrighty. Are you back there?
I'm back. Okay, so next week I'm gonna go back to my other freaking browser because that's 2 weeks in a row that they did that. Bells and Belts, what's going on, baby?
Go ahead and ring that bell.
All right, so yeah, what we're doing top 10 AWA World Heavyweight Champions. This is definitely a territory that has a history that don't get a lot of freaking recognition. With my boy Man Up, who is saying we got to say what today, and if you unless you've been living under a rock today, we got Jesse the Brody Ventura. Sir, welcome to the show.
It's about time you got me on here. You know, if ratings go up, I don't think it's going to be a surprise. You know, if it wasn't for the Biden administration, I'm sure I would have been on here weeks ago. But, you know, I've been living in the Baja. Down there in the Baja, where I've got about 150 to 200 trained dogs, and they all answer to me. You know, and it's appropriate that we're talking about the AWA because it's a well-known fact against my fans that I beat Vern Gagne, Nick Bockwinkel, and their parents and their children.
Oh,
all on the deck of the USS Intrepid back in the Vietnam era.
Oh, okay. Well, we're definitely glad to have you on the show, sir. And we definitely want to get your perspective, and we definitely want to get here how you fit into the grand scheme of things in regards to these AWA World Champions. You look like you got some fans out here tonight. They're the Brody.
What are you doing? Hiding Facebook user? I can't see your name.
That's Gary Sutton. That's Gary.
That's Gary Sutton. Okay.
Gary's a good guy. He's the only guy that knows the truth about the American Sniper. Okay. We're not going to get too far into that. We're talking about professional wrestling here, I thought.
Oh, my God.
Oh God! Yes, sir. Yeah, we're gonna dive in and talk about just for historical basis, whatnot. Being that you're one of the legends from AWA, if you want to just tell everybody a little bit about the AWA, especially from your time there, sir.
Yep. It's the Minneapolis-based professional wrestling territory, formerly of the National Wrestling Alliance. Then it separated. Decided it needed its own World Heavyweight Championship. And here we are talking about that. You know, it's a little known fact, all my fans know anyway, that I was one half of the AWA World Tag Team Champions in the East-West Connection.
Oh, yes, absolutely. With Adrian Adonis, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That's exactly right. But not Manny Fernandez, because Manny Fernandez wasn't in Vietnam.
Oh, of course he wasn't. Of course he wasn't. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with our countdown. If you guys are watching, first of all, we want to thank you all for watching. Make sure you if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. And make sure you comment with us and let us know what you think of what you think is your top 10 in regards to AWA World Champions. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor, hit that like, hit that thumbs up for us real quick. We would definitely appreciate it. We're gonna go and get started with Man Up. Say what? And his number 10.
I might pronounce this guy's name wrong. I already know I am. It's Jumbo Torito.
Jumbo Sharuda.
Okay, I
So
know I
we-
said. I know I was gonna say it all wrong.
It's all good.
Because yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone. But all right. So yeah, Jumbo Torita.
Jumbo
man.
Sharuda.
Saruda, the T is silent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Torito.
There you go.
Is it
Good job.
Him. Because I know I'm gonna mess it up again. So him.
Him.
I seen one of his matches a couple days ago, and wow, this guy is freaking phenomenal in the ring. I'm trying to think who the other person I saw him wrestle, but it was a few days ago. But yeah, when we came up with this topic, that was the first person I watched, and I was like, wow. I wonder, why his stint as champion my personal opinion, didn't last that long, because I thought he was a great technician in the ring. Like he was fluent, I guess you could say, in what he was doing. But yeah, he was on one-time champion for 81 days. But
Okay.
that was awesome. This guy here was, my personal opinion, was smooth, knew what he was doing.
Well, here's the thing with it is, and it's commiserate of the AWA time and whatnot. That was Vern's territory. And unless you were like truly one of Vern's guys, whatnot, you didn't get a long, substantial title reign as we will see going forward. My number 10, I have the Crusher, the man who made Milwaukee famous. He held it for 4 times. Give me. I think I got him. Nope. He's in here somewhere. There he is. The Crusher, and he in that picture he has the very first AWA World title. It was very hard to actually be able to find pictures with this version of the world title. So I snuck up and found this gem right here. So the Crusher, more along the lines famous for teaming with Dick the Bruiser, also another former AWA world champion. Spoiler alert, but he was definitely synonymous, very popular in that Minneapolis area as the Brody I'm sure will agree with on that. But I got him at number 10. And to our guest of honor, Jesse the Brody Ventura, who do you have at your number 10?
I gotta give you some credit there, Cedric, because I have him at number 10 as well. The Crusher.
Awesome.
The Crusher was a big draw in the Midwest. He was a blue collar guy, and blue collar guys Minnesotans appreciate.
Absolutely. And I feel honored that I had the same number as you, being a former former world champion yourself, sir.
Beat them all.
Exactly. On the Intrepid, right?
I beat Coco Beware before he was born.
Oh, this is gonna be so hard to do this show with a straight face. I swear, man up, number 9.
I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
How the hell are we gonna get through this doggone show? I have no idea.
What in the world? All right, my number 9. Gary Zbyszko.
Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I said that all wrong. All right.
Call him Gary.
I did say Gary is Larry. Oh,
Larry.
Laughing at Jesse the Brody here. Oh man, that was funny. All right, so Larry Zbyszko.
I got it. I got to go for it.
Yeah, the legend, as you can see right there. The
living legend.
Yes, because he lived up to that title, in my personal opinion. I remember watching him a few times with some of my uncles back in the day, because they did love the AWA. Now, of course, I was younger, didn't really, click in my head. But as you get older and you start remembering some of these things, I watched a few of his matches before as well too. I'm trying to remember who these people was that he wrestled. But like I said, I was younger, so I don't really remember. But I do remember seeing him. He had this certain like lockhold move, I guess you could say, submission, whatever it was called at that time, that I thought was pretty awesome. I can't remember what it was called, but I just like blown away by the way he performs in the ring.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't the over the shoulder backbreaker that Brody Ventura used quite efficiently, I may add.
Well, Larry didn't quite have the strength to do that.
Of course.
Oh my God!
All right, so Larry was synonymous with AWA especially after his stint that he had in WWF after his feud with Bruno. And he had that twice. I'm sure we'll see him again in our countdown. At number 9, I have Gene Kiniski at my number 9, and the reason I have him there because a lot of folks has him synonymous with being being a former NWA World Champion, but his first world title was the AWA World Title. He held that one, and he held the WWA in Indianapolis version of the world title as well before he won the NWA World Title. This is a little small fact there from Canada, as you see on the ring jacket. Couldn't find a picture with him with the AWA world title, but champion nonetheless there, Brody.
Canadians. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go to my number 9, and that is going to be the partner, Dick the Bruiser.
Okay. Awesome.
The Bruiser and the Crusher were the greatest tag team next to the East-West Connection.
I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Yep.
I mean, here's the thing about Gene Kiniski. Gene Kiniski wasn't a frogman in Vietnam. Gene Kiniski can't stay underwater for 11 and a half minutes.
What in the world?
This guy right here, Dick the Bruiser, could smoke 100 cigars in a row and probably drink enough alcohol to freaking float a ship himself.
I'm just saying. This is like I wouldn't run into a guy like that. Look at the freaking traps on this guy. Goodness gracious. Good Lord.
Yes.
Shut down a buffet.
Yeah. Don't want to go into a dark alley with this guy.
Oh my God. Yeah. Again, just like Crusher, very popular in that Midwest territory. I'm going to spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about him a little bit when it comes down to my pick as well. If you guys are watching, go ahead and drop it in the comments. If not necessarily the countdown, which we definitely encourage you to do. Who are some of the AWA champions that come to mind when you think of the AWA? With that being said, man, I got you at number 8.
Number 8 is going to be Rick Martel for me. Excuse me, sorry about that. Rick Martel, to me, when he first won it, he's a one-time champion. He held it for a long time too. I want to say
he did. Year and a half.
Yeah, he held it for a while, and I was blown away because in my mind, kind of like what you were saying earlier, I'm just saying I don't believe that he was one of those guys that I thought was going to win the title, but hey, he did. So, and I guess he made the best of it, and I kind of like that. What's that? The inmate title, correct?
Yes, this one right here.
Okay, yeah, and so, but yeah, when he won that one, it was awesome, man. I think it was well deserved for him. Should he have one or more title rings? Give or take, maybe. It all depends on how you feel, but yeah. I think he should have though.
Well, like I've told you, like I told you before, don't really get hung up on how many they have, but what he did with what he freaking had. Had it for over 500 some days in that time frame. He did a lot of traveling with as a champion. He had freaking matches with Flair when Flair was the NWA World Champion as well. So his title reign is definitely not nothing to sneeze at. We're gonna see him later on in this bowl in the show. I'm
pretty sure.
Oh, Ben with a hot take. Really, Ben? Really? Ooh.
Okay. I mean, hey.
Okay, Ben. I would love to know those comments as to why you think that. At number 8, I got the Mad Dog, Maurice Vachon.
That's what he says.
Boring and no charisma, and we could touch on that as well. We're gonna see Martel again, but Mad Dog Vachon multiple times as AW World Champion, from the famous Vachon family, the uncle of Luna Vachon, and brother of the Butcher Vachon. So from Canada again. All these guys with these outgoing personalities and whatnot, and he had multiple reigns as AWA World Champion in the 60s. So definitely nothing to sneeze at. I got him at number 8. Moving on to the Brody.
Yep, and my number 8. I got possibly the most devastating guy to ever hold the AWA World Heavyweight Champion. I got Stan the Lariat Hansen.
Oh, this guy. So like, I got
everybody. He was in there.
There he is.
There he is right there. Boy, that inmate title was in bad shape by then. Yeah.
Yeah,
the Lariat man, he's crazy as hell. He was the cowboy from hell.
Exactly. The bad man from Borger, Texas.
Oh my goodness!
And we're gonna
often imitated, never duplicated like me.
Yes, sir. Whereas you had your devastating backbreaker, sir. The Lariat had his Lariat.
Heads off worldwide.
Hey, quick question. Brody, by any chance, did you ever get hit by one of those Lariats from Stan Hansen?
Oh no. And you can't find a video otherwise. And if you do, well, then maybe I was on a bender or something at that time. I'm not sure. But to my knowledge, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe my knowledge would possibly be altered by a Lariat.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
We'll come back to that one.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move to Man Up and his number 7.
Oh my goodness. Mine is Curt Hennings.
I am curious who is at the top of your freaking list, because you these are all the. I'm just curious as to where your top 10 is going. But okay, Curt Hennig at number 7. Okay.
Yep. I know that we, think about him with other promotions, but you got to give this man his credit for his body of work, winning the championship, being the man, doing what he had to do, putting that title, I guess you could say, it was already prestige, but, making it even more prestige, I guess you could say. And I think he deserved his props for that as well, too.
Curt Hennig was a actually, I'm gonna touch on that once I get to him on my countdown. At number 7, I have Dick the Bruiser. We covered him a little bit earlier. He was at the time that he became champion. He was also running the WWA Indianapolis territory. A little close to home. In regards to Dick the Bruiser. That the promotion that he ran in the later years, they ran in my hometown of Detroit. He held that title multiple times. Side note, that title is on the WWA World Heavyweight title based out of Indianapolis is a title that's on my radar as to one that I'm going to add to my collection. He held that title multiple times, but Brody, one of the people that got one of his early starts in that promotion, is a little known guy named Scott Rex Steiner. So
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Maybe heard of him. Scott Steiner of the Steiner Brothers. You heard of him? I'm sure during
Not
this
a fan.
time. Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Okay. All right. With that being said, sir, at number 7, who were you a fan of at number 7?
Well, let me tell you something real quick here. Since we're talking about the AWA, before I get into my number 7, I want to know who in here and who watching at home right now can sing the entire Wrestle Rock Rumble.
I can't. I'm
Come on now. I want you to do it. At the end of this, I want you to do it.
I don't know it. I don't know it.
But you remember, I'm Kurt Hennig and Big Scott Hall. Come on now, you got to.
I might have to Google it or YouTube it. I heard of it, but I never learned it.
It was the #1 rap video that year.
Yeah. Right. Number 7.
I don't know.
My number 7 is Rick Martel.
Okay, you got Rick Martel. Awesome.
You can say he was boring. He was a great technical wrestler, especially at the time. He was a big draw in Montreal, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the biggest reasons he was the world champion, because the AWA was having a partnership, having events over there in Montreal and making a great connection. And Rick Martel was a very clean-cut, likable guy.
Oh, would you definitely say that white meat baby face there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
He'd make a good model.
He did. Yeah, but right here, he's not showing no kind of no sense of arrogance at all. And number 6, man up. Who you got?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get through this. My number 6 is Stan Hansen.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, Stan the Man. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Jesse the Brody down there. All right, Stan the Man Hansen. Yes, I do remember him. Of course, I am a Texas native, and of course, you got to remember the Texas boys. He was a weird cowboy, in my personal opinion.
Why weird?
I don't know. His approach and his appearance to me was just weird, to me. I mean, hey, just like Ben said, he think Martel was boring. Everybody has their opinion on it. But to me, it's not taken away from his talent.
Your opinion sucks. I'm sorry, it does. He's not weird. He was out there. He was crazy. It was outside the freaking box.
But it worked for him. It worked for him. So I give him props for that. Yeah. And but the thing about it is they left a lot of money on the table with Stan Hansen. But I'm gonna cover that when I get to him because he's in my top 10. We gonna alert. But yeah. I still give him props, because he did his thing. Don't get me wrong. Whether you like the guy or not, I'm not saying I didn't like him. I just think he was just a weird dude. But
if you think he's weird, I have a strong concerned about what you freaking think is freaking good. So yeah, my number 6 is Vern Gagne. It was his damn company. I mean, he held the title more than he held the title more than anybody. He freaking held the freaking belt. He was definitely good for his freaking time and whatnot. But yeah, exactly. I'm giving him his freaking respect. And as champion, but a lot of being this is about our favorites and whatnot. A lot of how I feel about it is based off him as a promoter. So I know it's not really fair in regards to being a freaking champion, but I got him at number 6. Just out of pure respect, being a multiple time champion and whatnot. So. Yeah,
I got to bring something up at the beginning of the show, but I'll wait to the end. But go
okay,
ahead.
no problem. Ben, I'm gonna come back to that comment when I talk about Stan.
Take the picture down. Don't take the picture down.
So same spot.
Yep, he's my number 6 too. Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne. Let me tell you about Vern Gagne. I rolled him up for a 3 count in the middle of the jungle during Vietnam.
Yes, sir.
They were jumping out of trees everywhere, but Vern Gagne decided he had to beat the body, came out of the middle of nowhere in Vietnam and jumped me from behind. But the AWA won't give me credit for that run. And because he's so sneaky and such a backstabbing individual, I've got him at number 6 because I do appreciate that.
Well, one thing that we can't overlook is being the AWA and whatnot. A lot of the people that came through the AWA were people that he trained, and he definitely trained a who's who in professional wrestling. Just off the top of my head, Ric Flair, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, his son Greg Gagne, and countless freaking others. Khosrow Vaziri, otherwise known as the Iron Sheik, just to name a couple.
He definitely is one of the greatest technical wrestlers.
He honestly was one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. Him and Lou Thez, 2 of the best, especially of their era.
I freaking love that. I freaking love that. Man, we're gonna go ahead and go to you at number 5.
All righty. I'm laughing at how you just dropped that board just like that. That's what I'm still laughing at. Oh my goodness.
I don't know what you're talking about. Couldn't have happened.
Couldn't happen.
All right. Number 5 is me is Nick Bockwinkel. Oh man,
I am so curious as to where you are going with your top 10. Okay.
Why is that?
Go ahead.
I remember this guy mostly because of those Elvis Presley sideburns, but I did like the guy. Don't get me wrong, because I've seen a couple of his matches before as well too. Because like we said when we were doing a little bit of research for this show right here, I seen a couple of them. It was. Now I will say this here though, I could not really too much focus on it because the quality was horrible, but it is what it is because I know way back when. At the end of the day, though, I do like this guy. He's a 4-time champion, and I think he did his thing in that ring, against some of the greats back then as well too. And then also too, I forgot who did he lose it to his final time? I forgot, but then also too. If I'm not mistaken, that's when he went down.
Don't worry, I'll cover it. I'll cover it. Don't worry.
The guy he lost it to the last time is on your list, man. You already talked about him, but anyway.
Okay, I was trying to remember off the top of my head, but
no worries. I'll cover it.
Right.
Don't worry. At number 6. No, we're at number 5 now. At number 5, I have Larry Zbyszko at number 5. as we get towards the end of what was become known as the AWA, Larry was one of the last champions. Won his first title, won his first world title as won his first world title in a battle royal, Brody. It was like a 19-man battle royal in which he won the title. Won the title. So
You only got it because I wasn't in it.
That's what I was kind of alluding to, because I mean,
He's a lucky guy that I was retired by that time and starring in big box office Hollywood films.
Oh my gosh, yes, sir. I remember those freaking. I remember those freaking movies, man. Didn't you get nominated for an Oscar too?
You know I did, and I had to compete against Arnold Schwarzenegger because he decided he thought that his arms were bigger than Jesse Ventura's, and I showed him up right there on the set of Predator.
Yes,
when
sir.
I flexed, and my arms were an inch bigger.
Hey, straight from the man himself. Gotta love it.
You never heard from Arnold again after that, did you?
Now that I think about it, you are absolutely. You know what?
Oh,
Truth bombs being dropped right here on Bells and Bells, folks. I'm just telling you. Who you got number 5 there, sir?
Dog Vachon.
Oh, okay.
Because he was a psycho.
Yes. And the Brody loves psychos. Yes.
Oh yeah, just look at the guy.
Yeah. It looked like he'll gnaw at your face once or twice, then come back for third.
He little known fact, he used spare body parts from all of his victims to create Luna.
God damn. It had a Frankenstein thing going on back then.
Nothing fake about professional wrestling.
Hey, something I just noticed for the belt enthusiasts on there, at the bottom of this version of the AW World Title, the plates are kind of the same as the one that Larry had. But if you look down there, you see the Butcher's picture in there. I just like now noticed that. Little small thing, that's the belt nerd in me.
I'm gonna get a close up of that belt one day.
I'm just saying.
Woo, okay.
Man, he threw your softball there. He threw your softball there. You missed it. Don't worry about it. He threw your softball there.
I'm just focused on the voice. That's all.
Yeah. Number 4.
Forbidden, Minnesota.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Okay. All right. My number 4 is Vern Gagne, of course.
Gagne? Sure.
Yeah.
Vern Gagne?
I know I got these names wrong.
You sure do. You sure do.
I'm just going to admit it. I know it. The most ever and for the longest amount of time as well too. For all the same things that y'all mentioned earlier as well too. Mm-hmm. But this gotta get a man props. The man has done what he was supposed to have done in this industry, and then also too, it's just something about his personality in that ring. His style that caught my eye with him as well too, and that's what I had to put him on my list. It was right here. I wanted to put him higher, but I said, I'm gonna leave him at number 4 for me.
Because I'm just curious as to where you're going with your list. So little small thing. I got rid of the wrong sign, but I can create something real quick because yeah. He said don't let anything slide. Okay,
he was talking about that belt. He was talking about that belt.
Talking about that belt.
Yeah, you saw that picture. I didn't even notice that.
Hey, I'm trying not to, man. I'm trying not to. At number 4, I have Cool Kurt Hennig. What I'm going to touch on is Kurt grew up in the AWA. His father Larry the Axe Hennig, so he was definitely one of the staples of the AWA in the early years. And then Kurt came along. He came up through the ranks. He teamed up with Scott Hall for a good run as the World Tag Team Champions. Definitely one of the most popular ones. He had a 60-minute classic with Nick Bockwinkel, and that was freaking amazing. And this was prior to him actually winning the world title in 1987. But he glad to see he finally got his freaking run. Only reason to interrupt is because he is signed to go to WWF. But other than that, because by that time, AWA was definitely not pulling in the numbers that they were. That was commensurate of all the different territories that weren't Jim Crockett Promotions and the WWF at the time. So they held on, and Kurt was one of the last champions. Had one of the last strong reigns as the AWA world champion.
You can't keep that voice up. I can't keep it up anymore. It's killing me now.
Good job, Brody. Yeah, I'm proud of you. I'm gonna give you a golf clap, sir.
Yes. I told him before we start.
I
told him before we started, his throat was gonna start hurting if he keep doing that.
Trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist from Minnesota.
All right.
Okay.
It's starting to feel weird.
Oh my goodness.
We got 4.
You're better than me. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Okay, is it my turn now? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
4.
All right. Number 4 is Nick Bockwinkel.
Okay.
Again, one of the, in the 70s, I kind of remember Bockwinkel for being a world tag team champion in the AWA, but it was in 1980 or so, he won the AWA world title for the first time, 80 or 81, somewhere around there.
Actually,
ended up holding 4 times, I believe.
Going back to the 70s. Actually,
what year? You telling me I'm wrong? What was it?
Oh, it was mid 70s because it was mid. It was
Bockwinkel.
Yes, because
maybe
because in between Verne and Bockwinkel from 68 all the way up into 82, the two of them held that world title. If you look at it, I think Bockwinkel won it like I want to say 74, 75 ish.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, all right. So he did have it for I'm sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No
the point is for all the criticism he gets, he was a pretty solid champion. Mm-hmm. They just missed the boat on a lot of times when they should have put it on different baby faces. But like the NWA, the AWA was mostly a heel territory for the championship. They had been historically anyway.
Exactly.
So they failed to break away from that in the long run.
They did. Outside of when Verne had his runs and whatnot. As we saw a lot of in the early in the 60s whatnot. The Heels did not hold the belt long. They really didn't.
But definitely between Verne and his early career and stuff like that. But Nick was that guy with the Hollywood looks and everything at the time. Before body guys became a thing.
Exactly.
He had the good looks and he had the great promos where a lot of these guys, to include, I would say, I see a lot of similarities with Nick Aldis even to compare to like Nick Bockwinkel.
Okay, I get that. Because if you hear Bachman could do a freaking interview as well, man. He's cool, calm, and collected. He got his freaking point across. Very intelligent interview. And with you saying Nick Aldis, I could definitely see that comparison. Absolutely. All right, man up. Do I even dare ask who's your number freaking 3? Because your list is throwing me all the way off.
I don't know why, man. I don't know why. My number 3 is going to be the first one ever to hold it. But for me, and that's Pat O'Connor, just in case people don't know. And he won it the first one in 1960.
Okay.
He didn't win it.
Well,
Just
yeah.
so you know.
Well, I know. Well, he was crowned the first one, and he had to wait 90 days or something like that and win a couple of matches here and there. Something like that. I forgot exactly how it went, but it was something.
He was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. And
he was the first one they recognized.
Yeah, and that's why he had to wait or something like that. It was
no. It was creating the lineage.
Okay.
So it was creating the lineage because he was the NWA World Champion, but whatnot.
He never wrestled for the AWA World Title, not once.
Yeah.
He was recognized as the champion because he was the NWA World Champion, and then they stripped him of the title for not defending it.
Mm-hmm.
I know he didn't want to. What he said, he didn't want to defend it over in Japan or something like that, Tokyo, whatever it was.
No,
he didn't have any dealings with the AWA.
None.
It was
none.
Okay. No, because wouldn't. Okay, didn't he say that he didn't want to defend it in Japan or whatever?
No. The AWA decided they were no longer going to recognize Pat O'Connor for the World Heavyweight title. They wanted their own world champion. That's what it was founded on. He was the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and he wrestled for NWA territories. But once the AWA split apart, they used that as an excuse. Well, he's not going to defend it here, so we're stripping him of the heavyweight championship of the world. They didn't even, they didn't tell their crowd that they weren't able to strip him of the NWA World Heavyweight title. They used it as a scapegoat to create their own world championship.
Okay. All right.
He didn't wrestle for the AWA at all or defend the AWA version of the championship.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That was your number 3. But all right, so at number 3 for me, I have Rick Martel as my number 3. Pre-model, pre-arrogance, pre-WCW, a white meat baby face in the purest form. He also had business in home turf in Quebec as well. Doing time shots
up there, bona fide for sure.
Exactly, man. So, while Ben said he was boring and whatnot, Martel didn't speak the best of English either. So, boring and no charisma. Yeah. He didn't. It was what, and the fact that he had a freaking as Lindsay run with it as well. From a lot of stuff I'm reading, he was solid in the ring, but it just didn't draw as champion. Apparently, that's the reason as to why they wanted to switch it off of him to Stan Hansen. So, but I'm gonna talk about Hansen very, 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 very shortly.
It's like you said, he was a great wrestler even during that era. Like he was, like you said, matches with Ric Flair, champion versus champion that went 1 hour Broadways.
Yeah.
So
he could do something a lot of guys after him couldn't do, and that's wrestle. So.
Exactly. But that was definitely a point for AWA champion for Vern being the amateur that he was. Vern being an amateur was he was definitely big on those who could actually go in the ring, specifically freaking those with amateur backgrounds. He really relied on those a lot, and it definitely highlighted those versus all the nonsenses and whatnot that became like the norm as we get into the 80s. Ben said there was a slow period in AWA as they didn't have many talent at that time, and he was champion. Someone had to hope. Damn. How you really feel, Ben? I'm like, Jesus, man. When I started watching wrestling, it was that transition between him and Stan Hansen. So that's why I got him so high up on mine. So who you got at 3?
I got the living legend, Larry Zbyszko.
Larry. Go to Larry Land.
I'm a big fan of Larry Zbyszko. And though it was the dying days of the AWA, I thought that Larry was a good choice, probably the best choice they could have made at that time. And as far as somebody that would be loyal to trying to, but like you said, they kind of gave him a sinking ship. So it's not really Larry's fault because, I think Larry proved with a good baby face, he could always have a good program. Mm-hmm. There wasn't that great baby face at the time for him to work with in the AWA where he could have been, a strong drawing world champion. But, you saw early on with Bruno that Bruno trained him and brought him up to work opposite him and stuff like that. So you saw that the ability was there and everything like that for him to work on top. And like I said, if AWA had some strong baby faces and they hadn't lost Sergeant Slaughter and, like all these guys that were top baby faces for the AWA, he might have had a little bit better, but I give him his props there, because I think Larry's a great wrestler in the ring. Again, you talk about the credibility of being able to tell stories in the ring, but also be a great technical wrestler. And I think Larry fit that well.
Absolutely. All right. As we transition back to Man Up and where he has at number 2, I'm wondering where he's going with it.
I ain't going nowhere with none of this. All right, my number 2 is going to be Dick the Bruiser. To me, I'm agreeing with y'all on this. That was a scary technician dude in the ring. Whoa. Okay. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That man was a solid killer in the ring. I don't know if I can say that word on social media, but I gotta say it. Sorry. That man was smooth. I ain't gonna say smooth, let me change that. That man was the man. I'll put it like that. And he scared the shit out of people. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
In that ring.
Awesome.
Yes and no, but he connected with a lot of people too, because you look at the Midwest back then is a big industry, car industry, like a lot of things like that. I think a lot of people liked him because they saw that type of guy that.
He resonated with demo. To put it into context, how Stone Cold resonated with folks during that era. This was Dick the Bruiser in the 60s and the 70s,
but also too,
and the Crusher for that matter. They kind of
exactly.
Okay, but I'm not saying that he didn't connect. I never said that. But I'm just saying.
I was just saying that just for context. Okay, I'm just saying that for context.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay. All right. At number 2 for me, I have Stan the Lariat Hansen. Because the bad man from Borger, Texas. Now Ben brought up earlier, like I said, Stan didn't want it, whatnot, but because he was doing great business in Japan, and he let Vern know, like, hey, my priority is Japan. That's my priority. So
He's getting paid there.
he was getting paid. He was getting paid there, and like I was telling the guys before we came on, they left a lot of money on the table with Stan Hansen, and because if you get a chance to read his book, the Last Outlaw, I was just doing a little bit of research for this show, and I was just reading about how I was just reading about how Vern didn't deviate from for what he had been doing for years and whatnot. For example, he got very frustrated with Vern that they weren't using TVs to tell stories to try to draw them in for the house shows, and he got very frustrated with them because he also feel like he ain't promote him as freaking champion, whatnot. So by the time it was Vern wanted him to drop the title to Bockwinkel, saying like, no, I'm not going to do it. He freaking left. Then we all heard the story of the belt getting ran over. I was reading in the book that he was wearing it at his ran while it was on the tractor. It fell off his waist. The tractor ran over it 4 times.
Purely by accident.
Surely by accident.
4 times.
Four times. Yeah, it said in his book. But by that time he learned that they had already had a new belt already being worked. That's the one that that one that Bockwinkel, Hennig, and Zbyszko had earlier. So, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure from Stan Hansen's perspective too, he was probably making way less than he was making in Japan to work for Vern. So he was probably thinking like, okay, we're trying to build this up. We're going to go somewhere with this and I'm going to get paid off later. And then that's got to be frustrating when you see it go in the opposite direction and you're supposed to be the world champion.
Exactly.
It's frustrating.
Exactly. That wild gimmick they was freaking using over like gangbusters in freaking Japan. He was
his style is just suited for that style.
Exactly.
Hard hitting style.
He came to the ring swinging the chair. He's telling a story in his book. Like, Greg Gagne, Vern's son, was I guess doing commentary and whatnot. Stan was coming to the ring wielding the chair. Greg Gagne didn't move. He got hit with that freaking chair when he was coming to the ring. Greg came back and like, why the hell you moved the chair? Stan was like, you didn't move. I was like, what do you want me to do?
If you're the referee or the ring announcer standing in the ring and he comes in there and that stuff's going around and you don't take a powder,
I'm like, your fault.
Hey.
I'm just saying. So
he was going to do his gimmick now.
If nothing else. All right, who you got at number 2?
You've got Curt Hennig.
You actually shocked me. Yes, you actually shocked me with that one, sir. Because I thought it'd been top of your list.
He is at the top. He's number 2. But it's like, now I got Curt Hennig, and we talked about this before, but he ended up going to a lot of NWA territories as the AWA World Champ because at that time, Crockett had a stranglehold on the belt, and he was defending the AWA World Championship in Portland. He was making trips to Japan, so he really was like the last traveling world heavyweight champion that was, making all these towns and going all over the world and recognized by all these companies as a world heavyweight champion. So again, maybe business wasn't perfect in Minneapolis anymore. But right. Curt was heavily booked all around the world and constantly wrestling for that championship and defending it. And Hangman Page stole his style with that cowboy suit and stuff.
You ever notice that that's he wore that suit on like AEW television, the blazer with the thing the way it was and the jeans and stuff like that. And that was the Kurt Hennig look from when he was the world champion.
Nice. Cool, Kurt Hennig. All right, man up. I think I figured out who your number one is, so but go ahead and lay it on me.
Now, who you think? I tell you if you're right or wrong. Who you think?
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Yeah, I don't know how he got that, but yeah, he's right.
Because I was just deducing as to just like okay. We did.
How did you come to Jerry Lawler? That's what I want to know.
I'm thinking of all
to know. I am dying to know that.
Let's see, man. We've been doing shows for about a year now, but even before the Bells and Belts brand. So I'm just going off of what I know, sir. And you know Jerry. You're familiar with Jerry the King Lawler. So I figured that's where you was going with this one, sir. I just know. Hey, let's just chalk it up to me knowing you.
I mean, hey, I can't argue. The man's right.
There you go.
He's right. All right. You got to give Jerry Lawler his props, man. Joey talks about this guy all the time, offline as well, how great he was as a mind in wrestling. And you got to give him his props. I mean, he don't really get that much props. It's a kind of talent he was, because a lot of people remember him for only one promotion, and they don't, think about things he done elsewhere in the Indies and here and there, territories, whatever. Not Indies, I'm sorry, territories, what I meant to say. But, all that good stuff. So I got to give Jerry Lawler his props, man, because I got to agree with Joey on a lot of that stuff.
Okay. Awesome. At number one, the man that I associate with the AWA World Championship is Nick Bockwinkel. I got him at my number one. Smooth in the ring, great freaking interview. And he had a manager back in the day. I'm sure a lot of folks is familiar with WWF days, but Bobby the Brain Heenan was his manager, and they were freaking hand in freaking glove, man, as a freaking tandem, man, and I freaking loved it. Outside of Vern, I associate the AWA with Nick freaking Bockwinkel. Like I said earlier, from a span from 1968 to 1982, Vern Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel had that AWA title on lock. That's over 20-some years, guys. Putting that into context.
We said favorite world champions. We didn't say statistically who's the greatest.
No. But in regards to favorite AWA world champions, it is Nick Bockwinkel. But I just use that 22 years to just further bring to the front how I associate that AWA world title, especially that inmate title, the one that I have right here, the one I have right there. I associate that with Nick Bockwinkel. So,
well, it's not TV accurate.
Damn it! It sure the hell isn't.
Oh my goodness!
Because that one, because the one that they have wasn't stacked either. It wasn't.
So. It was made out of aluminum and stuff, wasn't it? Look, it was huge, boy, but it was.
Yeah, that thing's huge. That's what she said. All right, Joey, number one for you, sir.
All right. This is going to be very important because, like I said, I've taken too many hits to the head. So my favorite AWA World Champion is Alberto Del Rio. No, I'm kidding. That was a Dutchman. I just remember Dutch Mantel doing that. Damn. Anyway, no, it is Jerry the King Lawler.
Okay, yeah, he threw me with that one.
That's just making me feel like Lawler doesn't belong on this list. But
I honestly forgot that he was AWA World Champion. I'm sorry, I just did. Otherwise, it'd have been on my list. I literally forgot that he was
been the AWA World Champion a long time before. You're talking about a guy that could. I mean, granted, he was a huge babyface in Memphis, but by the time he won the AWA World Title, Memphis was drawing way more money than Minneapolis was or anywhere else they were going.
It was.
But he was a super over babyface, and I really think a lot of times he got used as a heel up there, up in the Midwest. But I think he could have been a much bigger babyface, everywhere he worked, and I think he could have been a good opponent, a longer term opponent for like Nick Bockwinkel even earlier in the '80s, rather than waiting till 1988 for him to finally win it.
Exactly. And we can go ahead and segue this one, Joey. It's great that he was yours. We could talk a little bit about how he won this title. It was that unification match that he had with Kerry Von Erich. And that kind of put into motion what will soon to become the USWA Unified World Title. But that's a story for another day, there, sir.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hold on now. I promised it.
What's that? You promised what?
Anyway, I don't even know if that was. I had to play just like a couple seconds of the Wrestle Rock Rumble there for you. I don't even know.
I ain't catching.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even hear it.
Oh, good stuff.
I can't hear anything I can't even hear the opening to the show or anything, or the bell ringing or anything.
Jesus, I don't know what the heck is going on.
What's going on lately? Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna switch browsers, man.
Thank you, there, Mr. Ben. Thank you, there, Ben. Appreciate it, sir.
I know why Ben put that comment there.
I know why too. I know why. I
appreciate that. But yeah, this is one of the shows that had won in the polls or whatnot. And Joey, we get our insights from the group sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, you should join it if you're not in there. Join us on Facebook, Bells and Belts, and if you're not in there, you're missing out on a lot of fun stuff, like dumb stuff, also like me going live today and talking a bunch of strange stuff that came out of somewhere.
Oh dear,
in the back of my mind.
Yeah. Oh dear gosh, that was some classic stuff today. And man, what else can I do for us?
What you asking me for? I have no clue. What are you talking about? Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. I just had to do it. Now, if y'all like what y'all saw and y'all want to see more like this, go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube, Bells and Belts. We post a lot of stuff on YouTube. Make sure you join. You hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit all notifications because we do more videos like this. We drop a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube as well. Content, bells, shorts, everything you can think of related to professional wrestling. So make sure you hit subscribe and then all notifications. So that way, anytime we do something, you will be notified.
Absolutely. And we invite everyone to join us next week, in which we're going to take a look at some of the outlandish, outrageous, and crazy gimmicks in professional wrestling. So we're going to have a nice little discussion about that. Maybe Jesse the Brody Ventura is going to have something to say about that.
I might do that, and I might also have to ask a special guest to come on here next week who's quite outlandish himself, and you all know him from the belt community, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out who it is.
So with that being said, for Jesse the Brody Ventura, for Man Up, I'm your boy Cedric D, and we will see you guys here next week, right here on Bells and Belts.